This is the southern coast of Maine. In summer, it's full of tourists. In winter, it's full of birds. Let's go find 1,000 of them. 1,000? Did you just say 1,000? It's a little optimistic. I've got 5 stops planned. Usually it takes me 2 days to do 5 sites this good, but today is speed birding. You and I are going to do this in 1 day, I hope. Hop in. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get these out of the way. All right, start the clock. Yes, about starting the clock. In order to squeeze this in, I'm going to have to move things along, so this is a timed event. I didn't say speed birding was easy. Fort Foster. This was a gun battery to protect Portsmouth Naval Shipyard through 2 world wars. It's a park now. Fort Foster was built in about 1901. It protected the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard through both world wars. You wouldn't have to worry about invasion here, but you would have to worry about U-boats. And they did. There are gun emplacements up there. There's an observation tower over there. They had mines out here to protect the harbor, and the boats going out knew where they were. Any boat trying to sneak in didn't. This was the observation bunker for the minefield. And this is where they controlled the minefield. You gotta be kidding me. There's a pine grosbeak calling from the top of that tree. I gotta mark that down. American black duck. That's how you know you're in southern Maine. These song sparrows aren't up north in winter. There's a Carolina wren chirping over here too, but I'm not going to find it. Well, it's low tide. I knew it would be. I want higher tide for some of my better places later, but not bad. Number 2, the Nubble. That's this lighthouse here. The lighthouse sits in Sohere Park on Cape Nettic, which is a big cape that sticks out from York, Maine. The Nubble is, I don't know, maybe number 2 of my favorite places in southern Maine to go birding because the sea ducks are right here. And look, black scoters. They are always, I don't know why, but they're always in this spot, and there has to be 60. The long-tailed ducks come right in. Look at that. Here's something you might not know about long-tailed ducks. They're in their prettiest breeding plumage in winter. And then they turn brown just before going north, so they'll blend in with the drab brownness of their Arctic nesting areas. I'm not too pleased with the common eiders today. They're staying right off the point of the island over there. There has to be about 30 of them, but usually they're in a little closer. Usually it's not that hard to find the white-winged scoters here. Oh, there they are. Black scoters really like that point up there as you look up the coast towards the north. It's got to be, I don't know, 60 or 80 over there. This has become one of the most reliable places for Harlequin ducks along the southern Maine coast. Here's the thing about Harlequin ducks. They mate for life, and the male and female will keep the pair bond going all winter. They'll travel together to get here. But an unmated female is going to get no peace. All the unmated males are going to follow her around all winter. These three guys, they're going to just keep following and following and following. She's just going to get no peace. Honestly, I don't know if she likes the attention or not, but she's getting a lot of it. I don't know, mallards, I think, are the horniest ducks in the world, but Harlequin ducks must be number 2. Great cormorants sitting where they always sit. Here's the funny thing about great cormorants. They love a view. Double-crested cormorants, which aren't here much in winter, will tend to sit very low, but the great cormorants want to be right up where they can see everything. It helps to be 20% bigger and the largest cormorant in the world. Red-tailed hawk in the lighthouse. You just can't make this stuff up. All right, that was pretty good today. Up next, let's head to my favorite spot, Marginal Way. In my opinion, along the entire coast of Maine, this is the best place for winter sea duck watching. Why? Up there. We start out in Perkins Cove, the beginning of a 1-mile path called Marginal Way that winds along the cliffside as you overlook the ocean all the way to the beach. Let's go for a walk. So here it is. You get to the corner, about to head up the coast, and that's where the common eiders really pool up. And then just beyond them, all the black scoters, and you can hear them whistling. Southern coast of Maine, you want to find a Harlequin duck? Come here. I wouldn't even want to guess how much these homes are worth. How much for that one, do you think? One thing to be aware of, all these bushes with all these berries are a haven for wintering birds. So mockingbird, cardinal, song sparrow, white-throated sparrow, they could all just be lurking right in here. Speaking of lurking, purple sandpipers. The thing about purple sandpipers is they're the color of wet granite. So they blend right in. If you don't know they're there, you don't know they're there. But they like to be right in the splash zone. So when the water laps at their feet, they shift around a lot, and you can see that movement pretty obvious in the rocks if you know what to look for. And another thing, at high tide, they're just gonna sit there and roost until the water drops and they can feed again. So just look for bumps on the rocks. At low tide, that's when they'll be doing a lot of foraging and moving around. Just keep an eye open. Oof, the surf scoters are a little far out today. But the black scoters, oh my God, how many are there? Are you keeping count? Oh wait, I am. It's funny how all the scoters have this divided up. Right at the beginning, a lot of black scoters, surf scoters towards the middle, and at the end, white winged scoters. This is what I was saving high tide for. Birds can come in much closer when the water is much deeper. This is an ideal day to do this. Not much wind. It's not cold at all. It's about 34 degrees. I mean, that's warm for January here. All right, that's toasty. Those eiders sure do like this spot. Marginal Way. Boy, that totaled up a lot of birds. Just as good as advertised. Ooh, we're running late. Come on, next stop. Wells Harbor. Stop number 4 is good because it's got everything a critter would want. For gulls, people come and eat their lunches here and then toss crumbs out the window, and they love that. And people will actually bring gull food, whatever gull food is. For big gulls like this great blackback gull, you just take food away from the smaller gulls. For hawks, there's plenty of hawk food. For harbor seals, it's a harbor with stuff to go sit on at high tide. Young bald eagle. How young? So young the gulls don't even think he's a threat. They think he's incompetent. They didn't even take off. So here's why the sea ducks love it. The tide churns back and forth twice a day. On an outgoing tide, all that food comes out of the estuary and passes right by here. And then, on an incoming tide, all this food washes in from the ocean, and so back and forth it sloshes, and they can feed themselves like crazy. Seals know it too. One thing to consider, this is best at mid-time when the water is sloshing back and forth with the tide. At high tide, everything just sort of sits around and waits. But in one case, that's good. Let's go out to the jetty. I don't usually go there in winter because, well, frankly, it's Frostbite City. And you thought Maine winters were too cold for shorebirds. I counted 117 sanderlings. There's more over the edge, but at 117, eBird is going to flag that. Wells Harbor, not bad. How much time we got left? Oh, jeez. All right, let's get on to site number 5 while we still can. Biddeford Pool. Unfortunately, it's a big place. There's the pool, there's the inlet and outlet, there's the point, there's an Audubon sanctuary at East Point. How are we going to squeeze all that in? Come on, let's hurry. East Point Sanctuary. This would be a great walk even if there were no birds on it. Maine Audubon's East Point Sanctuary runs right by a golf course. It's a good course. The sand traps aren't hard, but the snow traps are tough. Remember when I said great cormorants like the view? Look at where this guy is sitting. Tide's dropping. Birds are a little far out now. I think we'll leave East Point Sanctuary, come back another time, and just hit the main stretch right down there. Well, that's worthless. A raft of 15 redneck grebes, but they're just too far out for fun. Boy, those shadows are getting long. We're gonna have to hoof it to the end of this and get what we can get. That island out there is so predictable. At high tide, it's where everything goes to roost. All the gulls are out there. It's still loaded with blackback gulls. Great cormorants gather out there. In fact, there's like 20 just before they all went out to feed. Boy, I wish I had just one more hour. Actually, I wish I had one more day. Whose stupid idea was speed birding anyway? Still, final score, not too shabby. All right, this took a lot of effort to produce, so I better see that like button hit. Oh, and I'll be doing this or something even dumber soon, so the subscribe button is a good idea. Meanwhile, a couple of years ago, I did a video on birding these same areas. You can see it right there.